confronting the non-rational aspects of society. We understanding the non-rational aspects with rationality. Now this is something different. We see that there was a belief in the power of reason. So there was a strong, let us say, belief, faith, or let's say understanding in reason as the main source of knowledge for the universal natural laws. So logic is one thing. Then that logic comes from where? Is it simply based on thinking, or it is based on scientific kind of approach? So prior to the scientific approach, I think there was an understanding that it is purely based on argumentation, the reasons. So whatever is the reality, whatever are the realities in the society, these are explained on the basis of simple logic. Now what we see is that there is something about this belief is being challenged. So loss of belief in the power of reason to ensure social progress through rational reorganization of the society. So what we see is scientific approach is entering this explanation. So when we say scientific approach, then it is more based on empirical evidence. So they would like to see that whatever was being explained purely on the basis of reasoning, can it also be explained on the basis of, let us say, scientific approach? Maybe the two could be combined, but with the evidence, empirical evidence, they are trying to understand the explanation of the realities of the society purely based on reasoning. So maybe that is how they look at. Now they are trying to see that sociological thinking led to the use of this approach when they were trying to see how societies have moved. That point has already been covered in a way, but just to repeat, we see that that approach led to a thinking that the societies move in a linearity from simple to complex, or from agricultural society to industrial kind of societies. So we see that there are different levels of societies with respect to their development, but all of them are moving in that kind of direction. Most of the sociologists have been following this approach. We see that traditionally it is being followed, although Ibn Khaldun had a different kind of approach to the development of society. But from Auguste Comte onward, we see, or their contemporaries, we see they think in these kind of approach. So evolution may be in linear, as I said earlier. It might be linear, or it might be, let us say, in spiral kind of situation, but it is moving in a certain direction. So that is moving from simple society to complex society. But at that time, we also see that many other sciences had developed, like physics, chemistry, astronomy. And we see that these sciences have been making use of the scientific method. And scientific method revolves around empirical kind of evidence. So when evidence, I'm talking about empirical evidence, it means it is based on sensory experiences. So let's say all the normal human beings have the 5 senses, and every expert who is specializing in a particular field can makes use of those five senses and can verify it. So that is how we see that when all this thing was taking place, we see that the scientific approach which was being followed by other natural sciences, social sciences also tried to adopt it. Sociology being one of them also tried to adopt it. And that is where we see that the last stage, as mentioned by Comte, is the positive stage, where they are trying to explain everything on the basis of, let's say, empirical evidence. Of course, on the basis of the empirical evidence, they would like to develop logic, and logically they would like to explain the realities of society. So such thinking was in a way a stimulus or impetus for the development of society, and from there on we see that the sociologists are actually moving in that direction, where they would like to follow the positivistic approach for the explanation of the realities of society.